Shuffle up, roll for high, let's go. Greetings, hello and welcome. Just recently I finished a series of shorts in which I ranked the artworks of full art basic lands. So now I created this supercut so you can watch all the rankings back to back. Please enjoy. First, let's take a quick look at the rules for this ranking. The cards have to be readily available, so no promotional or secret lair drops in the main ranking. And secondly, the ranking is based on the quality of the artwork and how well it portrays the land type that it is meant to represent. Let's dive right in. First up are the planes. Coming up first, we have the Jurassic World Collection artwork, portraying one of cinema's most iconic movie scenes ever with an awesome sense of scale. At number 4 we have the March of the Machine artwork, with its ability to portray a planes high up in the sky and a very nice use of color. Third place goes to the seasonal land cycle of WUBRG, with the summer artwork being my favorite. Runner-up for this ranking is the Infinity Planes, by virtue of effortlessly translating the concept of the planes into space with a perfect use of light and shadow. Before we move on to the winner, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions, in no particular order. First up, we have the Meditations on Nature Secret Lair, which might just be my favorite Japanese style artwork. What I appreciate more than anything else is a good sense of scale, which Amonkhet delivers flawlessly. A personal favorite of mine is this Assassin's Creed Plains, overlooking a beautiful city, which slowly disappears in the background. And finally, at number 1, we have this artwork from the Foundation set. Here, everything that I loved about the previous artworks comes together flawlessly. With the depiction of Ajani basking in the sun rays of the golden hour, the perfect use of color, light and shadow, the small details like the temple in the background, and the beautifully colored clouds hanging overhead, it all culminates in the perfect plains artwork in my opinion. With the plains out of the way, now let's take a look at the islands. Last place is taken by this beautiful Zendikar artwork, the gigantic Hedron plummeting down the collapsing seaside cliff, creating shockwaves in the waters below, creates an unmatched sense of both movement and action in a still image. Place number 4 is taken by this stunning artwork, portraying a tranquil scene in the otherwise busy-looking neon-lit world of Kamigawa. Coming up next is this artwork from the Zendikar Rising set, where we can almost feel the brutal pull of the water vortex portrayed. The silver medal is taken by both the front and back side of this Jurassic World Collection artwork. Both sides of this card just radiate pure awe and spectacle. Before we move on to the winner, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions, in no particular order. The first honorable mention goes to the island of the Godzilla Lands secret lair drop. I just love how the sunlight reflects in the waves as they move towards the shore. And once again, the Meditations on Nature secret lair finds a place in my honorable mentions. And last, but certainly not least, WUBRG finds a place on this list. This time the autumn is my favorite. And at number 1, we find the Unstable artwork, with some gorgeous deep blue waves down below, and some truly majestic islands rising out from the sea, with some seagulls flying across the whole scene. To me it feels like if you look long enough you can almost hear the sea churning and the seagulls squawking in the distance. After islands, the swamps are next. At place number 5 we have the Unhinged artwork, with a very nice use of perspective, drawing your gaze right into the middle of the card. The fourth place goes to the Assassin's Creed artwork. While you might expect a naturalistic landscape from a swamp, this version manages to convert that concept into an urban setting. This ranking's bronze medal goes to the Hour of Devastation art. The twin horns of Nicol Bolas in the background give this one a good sense of scale and distance. This time the Unstable artwork takes second place, with an overgrown swamp that uses beautiful background colors for its sky and has some very nice reflections in the muddy waters below. Before we move on to the winner, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions, in no particular order. One artwork that I'm especially fond of is the one of Seth MacKinnon of his very own secret lair. I can't help but imagine the backstory of this lone wandering knight. While I'm normally not that fond of black and white card art, the Innistrad Crimson Wow Swamp just fits like a glove. The Wilds of Eldraine land style can be pretty hit or miss, but the one for the swamp fits the most, I think. And finally, Fallout takes the crown for this ranking. Other than in real life, swamps in Magic are always portrayed as dead, abandoned places, and what better to portray this concept than in radioactively contaminated landscape. And all of this comes together with a clouded sky shrouded in green and grey tones, dead trees everywhere, green water puddles that almost make you sick just by looking at them, and finally a lone survivor and his dog. Truly the perfect representation of a swamp. Second last in the color pie are the mountains. First up for this list you have Unhinged, with a majestic mountain range that could be ripped straight out of a Bob Ross painting, albeit still with its own magic flair. WUBRG comes back with full force. This time I can't even name my favorite season, I just like all of them so much. Being a very recent addition to the list of full out lands, Target Dragonstorm takes this one easily. The gigantic shadow of the dragons flying through this landscape is just peak fantasy. The new angle of mountains as a canyon-like landscape earned this Foundation's artwork place number 2. Also, light and shadow are once again used perfectly here. Before we move on to the winner, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions, in no particular order. When you think about it, asteroids are just mountains in space, and the addition of 2 spaceships in the foreground give this artwork a cosmic sense of scale, which is what Edge of Eternities should be all about. The Infinity artwork looks more like a dragon's breeding ground than an actual mountain, but that also fits quite perfectly, to be honest. Mountains in Magic are most often portrayed from its base, but the Year of the Dragon art dares to turn this concept around and puts you on the peak of the mountain, which is why I adore it. First place goes to this Assassin's Creed mountain. Finding a Magic mountain with the perspective being up on its peak is harder than you might think, but once you do, it's pure perfection. This new elevated perspective gives you a gorgeous overview of the entire landscape, with numerous additional mountains rising out of the ground in the distance and the sun reflecting beautifully in the river below. And finally, let's finish this ranking with the forests. Place number 5 goes to this artwork from the Brothers War. Initially I thought this artwork was just alright, but then I noticed the teeny tiny human standing on the roots on the bottom of the artwork, giving context to the now ginormous mech in the background. Streets of New Capenna takes number 4, with a forest that either seems to live in harmony with a huge city or being in the process of reclaiming its territory. Speaking of reclaiming its territory, this Assassin's Creed forest is doing just that, portraying the ruins of an abandoned temple amongst lush greens and healthy trees. At number 2, Edge of Eternities uses its theme to show forests in a new light, and as such, this is the only artwork that I can confidently call a rainforest. Before we move on to the winner, let's take a look at a few honorable mentions, in no particular order. The first honorable mention goes to the Year of the Snake art, with its cherry blossoms offering a bit of variety from the usual greens. Outlaws of Thunder Junction also offers a new perspective on forests, this time a cactus forest. And a special shout out to the artist series there for Magali Villeneuve. This might just be my favorite land artwork. And the final first place for the basic land rankings goes to this Final Fantasy forest. This artwork shows us the most colorful forest yet, with just very few light rays managing to cut through the thick canopy above, making all the colors where the light shines even more vibrant. All of this combined together just encapsulates perfectly the idea of a magically enchanted forest. Thank you very much for watching. Do you agree with my rankings? And which artworks did I forget to mention? Please make sure to tell me in the comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been Kletjas, till next time.